Some more pre-season news and notes. We didn't see Rasmus Højlund in that Fiorentina friendly. Newcastle in pre-season action, not gone well for them at all. No wins in their last 6. 2 goals, as we just saw, for Reinders against Palermo for Man City. And Victor Gyökeres scoring his first goal for Arsenal. Don't listen to us, it was a header. We talked about that before. And so we'll see if we see plenty more of that this season. But we will. It looks as though they've been jumped in on. Let's talk a little bit about what we've just seen in these pre-seasons. There's a few things to pick out from there.
I'm glad our crack security team is really taking care of the boys over there in London.
Ali, let me talk to you about Gyökeres. Obviously, yes. Gyökeres getting his first goal for Arsenal, great sign.
Yeah. We spoke about it yesterday, the importance of new players or incoming players having an impact early on and giving signs and showing signs of what they can bring to the new team. In this case, what is the expectation of Victor Gyökeres coming into Arsenal? To score goals. And I think what's more encouraging than anything else is not only the header, which by itself was a very good finish, but it's the movement to get ahead of the defender to then find the header. And then beyond that, the goal by Bukayo Saka comes from the hold-up play initially of Victor Gyökeres. So it's positive signs for Gyökeres in what was, I thought, a very encouraging performance from him, and one that if you're an Arsenal fan and you want to get carried on with, I would suppose, an initial performance, and you want to get crazy about something, it was really good from Gyökeres, really good.
The strange thing about the goal is that they've got a centre forward, a goal scoring centre forward in the side, but they've actually supplied them with a cross. You know, Arsenal of last year wouldn't have crossed that ball. Zubimendi, obviously he wasn't there last year. That wouldn't have been crossed last year. It would have been held up, knock it back wide again, get it back to the halfway line, let's start again. I mean, that's what we would have seen from Arsenal last year. They wouldn't have scored a goal like that last year. So again, that's a positive. Maybe it's another way that they're going to try and get the ball into the box early for Gyökeres.
Yeah, let's go see how our security team is doing outside Wembley there with Craig and Frank. Frank, we were just saying, we hope that you know your teammate's name today, Craig Burley. And are you guys safe? Are you okay? Who are these people around you?
Oh my God!
Have I missed something here?
Yes, because I forgot. Because I remember that Mario Melchiot scored the goal, but I didn't remember his first name. And of course, now we're making a big story
his last name either.
Like Mario and blah blah blah. And that's all come from that horrible Dan Thomas, but whatever, you know. And I love Mario. As well, and I know, I was saying that because I know, through the megahertz, I thought Mario could hear us. And that's why I say Mario.
Yeah, and I'm sorry about that, guys. We're doing this live TV, and there's a lot of passion around here. But unfortunately we actually got a very rude and threatening individual who we couldn't get rid of. So that's just what... Luckily, he wasn't threatening me, but he was threatening to knock Frank's head off at one point.
Yeah, but I wish he did, It would have been very funny after.
Well,
talking about security, where is your security?
Yes, exactly. That's what we're worried about.
Yeah,
that's what we're worried about, Craig. But I'll tell you what Arsenal are not worried about. Victor Gyökeres getting his first goal today.
Yeah, well... he's paid to do that. So I would like to think, and it's a friendly, and, they're expecting a lot of him. They've signed well. We're obviously here to do the Community Shield. We're going to talk about it. Liverpool have signed well, really well. So have Arsenal. So lots to look forward to. If you're City, Chelsea and the others looking at these two teams in particular, you're thinking, my God, I'm going to have a great season if I'm City and Chelsea. And we've talked a lot about Chelsea, obviously, from the Club World Cup. And can they bring that consistency? Can that bring that quality that we saw in the PSG game? And Man City, we're not quite sure what Guardiola's side is going to turn up. But I think we're pretty clear, 99% clear, what we're going to get from Arsenal and Liverpool, because they're not going to go away. They're two sides that have been built over a number of years, and they have signed brilliantly in the summer. And of course, as you mentioned, Gyökeres, he scored goals in England at Coventry in the Championship. He scored lots of goals in Portugal at Sporting. And Arsenal have paid big money because they want somebody to put the ball in the back of the net. So, yeah, a confident start, but it's all about doing it in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. But we will still ask you about another friendly where we got to see another new signing in Tijani Reinders scoring for Manchester City as well. Like, obviously, as we're saying, Craig, always great to see these new players bedding in and getting a few goals under their belts.
Well, it is, but I mean, I haven't seen any because the hotel I'm in, I'm lucky to get a TV. So, and I think I haven't even switched it on yet.
No TV.
And I think it's probably only got about. Frank's got a very
I have 2 TVs.
Frank's got a 90-inch plasma TV, and I've got one that I reckon's got about 4 channels. But yeah, and I mean, again, he's another quality player. City for me, you know, particularly with Rodri, you know, and again, should we discuss the Club World Cup? I don't think we should because we're over that. But he picked up another injury, so he's out to, they're saying September sometime after missing the bulky last year. Goes without saying, he's a huge player for them because they haven't really addressed the defensive issues. You know, they've signed up Nouri at left back, but they haven't really addressed, Frank, the defensive issues that really knocked him off a cliff last year when they lost, I think it was 8 straight games.
I totally agree with you, and I said that 2 days ago in the show where you asked me my predictions, and I said, you know, that I'm going to put Manchester City fourth in a prediction, and Chelsea finishing before them, because I saw improvement everywhere at Chelsea, where in Manchester City, yes, offensively you can see, and names are coming, and good players are coming, but in the middle of the park and at the back is still the same. So I don't see any improvements, and I'm very worried about their season because that was the main problem that they had and the main concern that Pep Guardiola had. So with Rodri getting injured again, that's going to be a problem, and how he's going to resolve that as quick as possible, we're going to see that.
I don't know if he's going to do it. Guys, you guys might know better than me because you've seen probably the friendlies. I've not seen these friendlies today. But is he still got? I mean, Nouri at left back, good footballer, not a great defender. If you've watched him at Wolves, he wanders around all over the place at times, and that leaves big spaces. And that's one of the things that was killing City last year. But does Pep Guardiola think that he can go a season with Matheus Nunes again at right back? Because he had the evidence from last year that didn't work. So your centre halves can be as strong as they want. You could be as strong as you want in front of the back four. But if your full-back positions are weak, and that's one of the positions that when he first came in, that he addressed. He went out and he got Kyle Walker. He went out and bought a left-back. I think it was Mendy at the time. So he addressed those positions. Those positions at the moment, for me, are very, very weak. And I just don't see a full season for City being successful with Matheus Nunes again playing at right-back.
Worried about that for City on their
100%.
concerns?
Yeah, that is the biggest problem that they have and are going to have when the season kicks off again, exactly where the problem was before the end of last year. And it doesn't look like there's, you know, he plays the likes of Nunes at right back because he wants that extra man in midfield. He wants a ball-playing footballer in the middle of the park, which is great when you've got the ball. Unfortunately, when you don't have the ball, then you absolutely are gambling because you're playing a guy in a defensive position who really doesn't understand what he's doing. And so when you start losing goals consistently and you keep doing the same thing, then guess what? The outcome is going to be the same. And so that's why I don't see any change when the Premier League starts again next week.
We're talking about last season and last Premier League season and how disappointing that was for Manchester City. Well, they had some time ahead of the Club World Cup to sort of generate some momentum going into this season. And then they get eliminated by Al Hilal by the very same issues that they faced all of last season. Exposed and counterattack opportunities, losing the ball in bad areas, no speed in transition defensively, making mistakes defensively, completely stretched and open to counterattacks. And that hasn't been addressed. It hasn't been addressed by the signings of the players that have come into Manchester City, and apparently hasn't been addressed by Pep Guardiola in the manner in which he approaches the game. And so it's hard to make an argument for Manchester City defensively. The only way that they're able to compete with who we think are the favorites, Liverpool and Arsenal, is by them being exponentially better with the ball than what they were last year. Too many turnovers, too many unnecessary turnovers. If they improve dramatically in their quality of their possession and what they do with that possession, they have a chance. Otherwise, too many turnovers, counterattacks going the other way, too many goals given up.
Yeah, meanwhile, Craig, as for Newcastle, the pre-season is definitely not going their way. They've got no wins in their last 6, and then we have still that situation with Alexander Isak. This is looking to be a bit problematic for them now.
Yeah, it's a manager's worst nightmare, isn't it? You know, you've got A pretty good season last year. You're back in the Champions League. You've built a pretty decent squad of players, but you have this superstar that has been, vaunted by Liverpool and probably one or two others, and he has made it clear he wants to go. And Eddie Howe could be going into the season. Well, he's probably going to be going into the season now without Isak, whether he's still at Newcastle or not. He's not been training with the team, and it is a very, very tough scenario. That everybody will tell you that most managers want all this done and dusted, good or bad. Good or bad, whether it was Liverpool or stays. I just want it sorted, by June, July, so that we can prepare everything, so we've got time for our recruitment department to go out and look at players and try and buy players. We know what our budget is. And this, Frank, for Newcastle, and for Eddie Howe, because it looks like it's a situation that's not going to be able to resolve itself in a very good way, even if he stays. Because it seems there's going to be some animosity between dressing room, manager, and certainly the player has made it clear that he doesn't want to stay. I mean, could you see a scenario where if the Liverpool move doesn't come off, that he just picks it up and goes again like he was last year?
We cannot blame the board, the PIF, because they've been cleared all the way along to the discussion where they always say that he's not for sale and we want to keep him. But there is one truth: you cannot keep a player who doesn't want to stay, and therefore they should have asked him before: do you want to stay or do you want to leave? You want to leave? Okay, well, you're gonna leave, but please, you have to understand that we have to get the money that we want. But the discussion couldn't have been, you are going to stay, how we can do it for you to stay. It's impossible to resolve that problem.
Levi Colwill, Craig, just something we wanted to come to you with. Obviously, he's got that injury. It's going to be a big blow for Chelsea. How big a blow for Chelsea and Enzo Maresca, tearing his ACL and having to undergo surgery?
Yeah, another huge blow, because he was starting to show the consistency that we all know that he's got. Obviously spent a period out in loan at Brighton. That was quite some time ago. Has come back in, has impressed, and is a surefire starter. So it is a blow. And as a centre half, Frank, are they going to be in a good enough position to do without him and continue this kind of wave of excitement that seems to be around Chelsea at the moment? I mean, I'm not quite sure they're going to have the consistency to stay with Liverpool and Arsenal, or even the quality for that matter. But have they got enough in reserve to be able to cover for the likes of Levi Colwill?
You not replace somebody like Colwill simply and easily, and they're going to struggle a little bit. But I want to believe that Tosin and Chalobah can do the job. Chalobah came back from a loan in Crystal Palace and has been very, very good since he came back and grew up a lot, I would say. So we have to trust the two players. They don't have any other choices. I mean, the others are there.
Desai come back from loan spell as well.
But
it's clear that he doesn't fancy.
No, he doesn't fancy. And Badiashile is a talented player, and you have some others, but they're not at the level, of course, of Chalobah, Tosin, and of course Colwill. So if they're going to struggle, they have to find also, or they have to have a decision for the goalkeeper, whether it's going to be Jorgensen or another one. But they have to make sure those three players are solid: the goalkeeper and the two centre backs. And of course, not having Colwill is kind of a blow.
I think, Kay, there is actually an extra pressure on Chelsea now. With that performance at the Club World Cup, whether we think the Club World Cup was great or not, I think there is an extra pressure on Maresca because they surprise people and perform so well that if they drop below that at the start of the Premier League season and they sort of huff and puff a little bit, I think the fans will say, well, what's happening? We should be, in the summer we won 2 trophies last year. There's so much hope around what this team was going to do. And so from that point of view, that win against PSG, I think, is certainly amongst Chelsea fans, has raised the expectations, and I think that is going to put a little bit more pressure on them at the start of the season.
I just want to say one thing, having watched them yesterday against Bayern Leverkusen, I think that offensively, there is no doubt that they're gonna do the job, and they're gonna be fast, and it's gonna be a threat to all defenses in the middle of the park. I'm very happy to what I see, even with Enzo Fernandez being injured. it's only the question mark of the centre-backs. But you have Reece James, who can play also in the middle of the park, can play centre-backs. So there are solutions. It's up to Enzo Maresca to decide well who's going to play or not. But I'm confident.
Do you know that noise you get when your AirPods just sort of drop out? I think I just got that. So if we throw back to the studio and a question comes back and I ignore it, I can't hear you. So it was.
What is your prediction?
5% battery. This show can't go on too long.
The Levi Colwill situation. Are you going into the ranks, or are you looking to get a replacement? There are differing reports out there.
Listen, I think they need to go and sign a bona fide centre back. You know, before the season's, or before the injury, it was Levi Colwill and who? That's where it was. Now there's no Levi Colwill, and you're looking at what they have. It's going to be good enough against what, 70% of the Premier League. The problem is when you come up against the best, that partnership, whatever it is, because there isn't a great one. Looking down what they have, there isn't a great partnership. But whatever it is, isn't going to be good enough against the best players, and that's what's going to hold them back.
And Frank back in their old
quickly before the batteries
They're
run
running
out.
out of battery.
Liverpool favourites, probably doesn't come as too much of a surprise. Obviously the Premier League winners against Crystal Palace, the FA Cup winners. Do we get to go to Craig and Frank for this?
What's
or
he been
are they
What's he been doing all day?
It's not run out yet. What are you looking out for in this game, Craig? Hope you
Travelling
can
all
hear
day.
me.
Chance them up.
Never mind that. I got to my
You've been sat in your hotel bed all day.
With no TV.
No TV.
I would have sat in my hotel. I would have sat in my hotel bed if my hotel bed was available. It wasn't available. I sat in a hotel foyer.
Was there no sockets in the foyer?
I was hoping you're going to ask me. I was hoping you're going to ask me something about what did I think about these games today. I had this whole spiel about my travel escapades today, including the hour in the rental car queue. I was dying to get it all out. And it was so disappointing.
Well, you can't.
What did you ask me?
I don't know.
The game tomorrow.
Yes. What are you looking out for?
I didn't have the same problems.
Huh?
What are you looking out for in tomorrow's game, Craig?
Oh, tomorrow, yeah, sorry. Let's get back on track, Frank. The show's going off the rails. Well, look, Crystal Palace are a great story, but this is all about Liverpool. This is, and I don't mean that disparagingly, because Crystal Palace fans over here, they won the FA Cup. Oliver Glasner's a great manager, but all eyes are on Liverpool. The new players, how are they going to fit in? How's Florian Wirtz going to be? We know he's a great player. What kind of changes is Arne Slot going to make? How's he going to tinker? And can Liverpool pick up the baton from last year and carry it on again? Because if they do that, as good as Arsenal have signed this summer, it is going to be tough to beat them. But if there's a drop-off, and I don't just mean tomorrow because it's a Community Shield, it's the curtain raiser, but when we get to the Premier League, are Liverpool going to be the same force they were in the first 6 months in particular of last year with the new signings? I think it's going to be super exciting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the changes that Liverpool have made and what seems to have been just a brilliant transfer summer for them.
I'm going to be short, but I think Craig is right. It's all about Liverpool. But if Liverpool loses to tomorrow...
Oh, don't be negative.
No, I won't be
on.
negative, especially with Stevie being there in the studio. But if it happens, question will be asked, and fans will be wondering. So that's not a good start. So you have to. And yesterday we talked about the importance of a game like that. You have to win in order to make everything in order. So it would be great for Crystal Palace, but if Liverpool doesn't win, there would be question marks.
I'm just getting a message in my ears, guys, back in Bristol. It says, hurry up and get to the bar. The battery's running out. No more live TV.
We're not done with you yet. Just a minute. Stevie, is Frank right on saying that questions will be asked of Liverpool if they're to lose this?
No. Questions will be asked if Liverpool don't beat Bournemouth in the first game of the season. That's when the questions will be asked, because it is the Charity Shield. There's no points at stake. Doesn't go towards anything, really. So, no. If Liverpool don't perform tomorrow...
It's the Community Shield. Get it right.
I beg your pardon, aye. The Community Shield.
It's not the Charity Shield. It's not 1973.
So yeah, that's...
Holy smokes. I mean, you had one job to do, Stevie. Community Shield.
Oh, you had one job. put your pods in and get them charged up, and you couldn't do that either.
No. So what's your prediction, Stevie?
Well, you got to go with Liverpool. Crystal Palace are going to give Liverpool the ball, and if Liverpool are anywhere close to being at it, then that spells trouble for Palace because they're going to sit and they're going to try and break. But that means they have to be at their best defensively. And in pre-season, as a defender, you're not always at your best. It takes a little bit of time. So yeah, they're gambling by giving this Liverpool team a lot of the ball.
LA?
I'm just impressed by the courage shown by Craig today. Traveling as much as he has, whatever the delays that he has faced.
Being nearly assaulted.
Nearly assaulted on live television.
Seriously.
Poor hotel, no TV, and yet here he is.
Still
smiling and professional.
Yeah.
Doing the best job he can with a faulty headgear. I mean, it's amazing.
With all I've gone through today, it is crystal clear I'm not getting paid enough. I mean, that's obvious. If any of my bosses are watching, that's a...
That's it. All right. Give us your predictions then, guys, and then we'll let you go.
Everything is perfect.
Frank, what are we looking at?
Okay.
Go.
Right. I'm going for Liverpool to flex their muscles and really pick up from last year and showcase what they're going to be all about this season and send a message, albeit it is, the curtain raiser, it's not the Premier League, but send a little message out about what they're going to be again this year. So Liverpool to be strong tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree. As I said yesterday, for me it's an important game. It's another silverware, and you explain to the world where you are. You say to the world where you stand, and Liverpool will do that tomorrow.
Okay, lovely stuff. Guys, we'll let you head off. Craig, I know you're in your old area. You can take Frank for a few beers in Cricklewood or somewhere.
Excuse me. It's early to bed tonight. There's a big game tomorrow.
Of course. We would expect nothing less from either of you. Okay, thanks so much, guys. Good luck tomorrow.
Sure.
We'll speak to you later. Make sure to join us tomorrow to look back on the Community Shield and how it all plays out between Crystal Palace and Liverpool. ESPN FC is presented by Xfinity. The Wi-Fi is booming. Okay, so apparently things are getting fixed. Internal remedies, say Lesportu in Catalonia, basically sorting a few things out. But the big news today is that Íñigo Martínez officially left Barcelona for Saudi Arabia. There was a contract that stated, well, his contract stated that he could leave if that offer came in from Saudi Arabia. That's happened, and he is on his way out. So to talk more about this, let's welcome in Alex Kirkland. Alex, how big a blow is this for Barcelona?
I think potentially quite a big loss for Barca, Kay. I think you can make a case for him having been their best or most important defender last season. I mean, he made almost as many appearances, played almost as many minutes as the likes of Kubasi and Koundé, was part of that first choice back four. A different kind of defender, a somewhat more kind of old school defender whose focus is defending, which I think was good for this Barcelona team. A leader as well, a big character, popular in the dressing room. And I think, like I say, they've obviously made the decision that they can do without him, that they've got enough alternatives there. They do have other options at centre-back, not just Pau Kubasi, but you've got Ronald Araujo, you've got Andreas Christensen, who we forget about a bit because he was obviously injured for much of last season, but a really good defender when he's at his best. Someone like Koundé, who can play in the middle, one or two other options as well. So they've really made the decision that they can do without him, and he's wanted to go elsewhere for a big pay rise as well, as is reported. So it's going to be interesting to see how they cope without him. Because like I say, I think he was a really big part of their success last season, an important character as well as big and an important player. So I think he'll be missed for sure.
Your thoughts on it, Ale?
I think Íñigo Martínez, when he first went to Barcelona, it was kind of an afterthought. Yeah, it's a nice piece to have, squad depth, numbers, strength in numbers, and then we move on from that. But given the struggles of Ronald Araujo, and these are well-documented struggles in which opportunity after opportunity, time after time, injury after injury, his level of play has dropped dramatically. Then you looked around and you go, okay, well, Christensen is injured. We need somebody to play center back alongside Pau Kubasi. And then Íñigo Martínez became, as Alex just pointed out, a critical part to their success. Unexpectedly so. And yet he became so very important. I think what Barcelona are banking on, hoping, betting, maybe pleading is that Ronald Araujo gets back to his best. And if he does that, then no issues, no problems. But if he doesn't, now you are looking deep, and I mean deep, into the Eddie Garcia possibility. And when you start depending on Eddie Garcia to be your center back consistently, you're asking for trouble. I think Ronald Araujo is the key here for Barcelona. If he plays well, no issues. If he doesn't, we're going to have problems.
What do you make of this whole situation and the player leaving for a lucrative offer in Saudi Arabia, leaving Barcelona?
Well, it's kind of strange because he's leaving because they had an agreement, we're led to believe. Mm-hmm. And so, on the one hand, you're going, Barcelona, looking after the players, very nice of them, you know, sticking with the agreement. And then you look at Ter Stegen, and they've completely stitched him up. So it's kind of weird. I didn't expect this from Barcelona. And the strangest thing is this is probably going to hurt them big time. Listen, I'm not a huge fan of Inigo Martinez, but he did a really important job for them. Because of the high line they played, he was the one that was in charge, particularly when he's talking to Kubasi and getting the fullbacks. I mean, they had a good line. It didn't always work, but Martinez was the guy that was in charge of it. And Christensen and Araujo are not going to be able to do that, in my opinion.
What about Eric Garcia?
Particularly Eric Garcia.
Oh,
and so, if they continue this season with that high line, this is going to be something to watch.
I wonder what the feeling is in Spain about it all, Alex. Obviously, it's just been a wonderful season for Barcelona. Everybody's expecting a great season ahead for them. That Inigo Martinez would leave this.
Well, yeah, but the context, as the guys have sort of hinted at there, is that it's not just about the playing side, is it? It's about the financial side as well. And while Barca are aware they're losing an important player, they're also grateful to free up some space on their wage bill. Because as always, we're in the middle of what's become an annual tradition now almost of Barcelona signing some new players and then being in this sort of desperate rush to register them in time for the new season. This season, of course, it's Joan Garcia, the goalkeeper. It's Marcus Rashford as well. And so Inigo Martinez, a decent earner, frees up some space on the wage bill and helps in that effort to try and register these new signings. Like I say, we get this every year with Barcelona. Every year up to now, they've found a way around it. They've made it work. They got Dani Olmo registered for the first half of last season because Richardson was injured. They got him registered sort of thanks to the courts and the federation for the second half of last season in the end. And like I said, they always seem to find a way. And presumably they're confident they'll do it again this time with Rashford, with Joan Garcia. But like I say, Inigo Martinez leaving, even if it hurts the team to a certain extent in a sporting sense, it helps them out financially. So I think there's a recognition of that.
That's irresponsible, isn't it?
Well,
What kind of common sense is that? You're going to hurt the team, but we can get some more money. I mean, that's completely irresponsible.
But are you surprised?
Who thinks that's a good idea?
Yeah, but Stevie, this is the way, and Alex just mentioned, and we talked about it on the show yesterday as well. This is the way that Barcelona have been making decisions, administratively speaking, when it comes to player transaction for years now. This is not new, and they always come to the last day, the last week. Reminder, we're in the last week ahead of the beginning of the season, and here we are having these conversations. How do we move this piece so that this piece fits here and that piece fits there so that then we can register this player? That's where we have been for Barcelona, and we continue to have the same conversation. And mind you, one of the players that they need to register, want to register, is Marcus Rashford, a player that they did not need. It wasn't a position of need. They go and chase Marcus Rashford, and now you're in a position in which you need to move three things to accommodate one. Doesn't make sense, but this is the way that they have been making decisions for years.
Now, Stevie did mention the way that Marc-Andre Ter Stegen was treated, but all is well now, Stevie. Everybody is friends again.
No, mate.
What do you mean, what?
They've reconciled. Everything's okay. In fact, he may even give a speech tomorrow at the Joan Gamper Trophy as captain. Tell us more. What's the latest, Alex?
Yeah, it's going to be extremely interesting what the crowd reaction at the Gamper Trophy is going to be. This is the traditional pre-season showpiece for Barcelona, and before this game, the captain speaks on behalf of the squad to the fans. And the captain, again, after he was briefly stripped of the captaincy this week and now reinstated, is Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. So let's see how the fans react. Will there be whistles? I'm not quite sure. I mean, he's a divisive figure in many ways, I think, Ter Stegen. I think he has been, as a player, Barca fans for a little while now, but especially after this latest saga in which he was in this standoff with the club where, he had this surgery. He came out and said, I'll be out for 3 months. That wasn't helpful to the club because they need him to be out for 4 months or longer to make his absence help in terms of player registration. There was this situation this week where he was refusing to sign this medical report, which had to be sent off to La Liga in order to kind of make official that lengthy absence. That has now been resolved. And like I say, he's been reinstated as captain after it was briefly taken away from him. But all of that, a week before the start of the season, as you say, tomorrow we've got the Gamper Trophy and him to speak to the crowd. So I'm not quite sure what the action is going to be. I think a lot of fans, I think there is division there. Like I say, I think a lot of fans back the club almost whatever happens because that's the nature of fandom, isn't it? I think other fans can be a bit more kind of on the players' side and feel like some of these players who have been stalwarts of the team and of the club for years are not being treated particularly well by the club. In cases like that of Ter Stegen, there have been others, but this is maybe the most high profile and most kind of dramatic one so far. So like I say, let's see what the reaction from the fans is like, because yes, this has all been, they've sort of shaken hands and they've found a way forward, and he's agreed to sign this medical report which goes off to the league, which then helps in terms of registering Joan Garcia, his replacement in goal. It's quite incredible, really, that it's come to this. But like I say, watch this space in terms of how the crowd react to that speech from Ter Stegen.
Yeah.
Imagine being in a position as captain of a team, as important a player as Marc-André Ter Stegen has been for Barcelona, where you have back surgery and the club is upset with you because you should be out 4 months and not 3 months. This is the reality of where Barcelona have put themselves and how they go about making decisions. And there's no way that anybody can tell me and try to explain to me how all of that makes sense. That you get yourself in a position in which you corner yourself as a club to the point to where you get upset with your goalkeeper who just had back surgery, and demand that he's out for 4 months instead of 3 months so that you can register his replacement or who would be the guy who's going to take over. You cannot make this up. You cannot write it, you cannot make it up. And Barcelona, year after year after year, they find even more creative ways of running a club that is a massive, gigantic brand, and they're running it as if they're running a Sunday league team. That's not the way it should work.
Meanwhile, another situation they're going to have to deal with is the fact that Robert Lewandowski has picked up an injury, a recurring injury. He's going to be out for a few weeks, probably won't be back until after the international break. Is that a concern for Barcelona?
Well, yes, it is, of course. And not just for the games that he's going to be out, but as we all know, we have been talking about this for years when it comes to Robert Lewandowski. We're so impressed with the fact that he continues to score goals, but he is, as everybody is, continues to get older. And these niggly injuries become far more common as you get older. That is the reality for most players. And so then it becomes the concern, I suppose, for Barcelona, and the hope is that Ferran Torres can carry on his momentum from last year and that he can be the player. Now, while we can focus on potentially Marcus Rashford playing down the middle, I think the succession line here from Hansi Flick and Barcelona would be, if Lewandowski is not playing, for the time being, Ferran Torres would be the answer because of the job that he did last year when Lewandowski was out. If you want to divide a locker room, if you want to create problems, if you want to bring about issues, then you jam Marcus Rashford into the middle and you force feed him into a starting position. You do that, now you're going to get bubbling going on in the locker room and you're going to get dissent. Ferran Torres has earned the opportunity to be the successor to Lewandowski, at least for the time being. And then, if he doesn't do the job, you can consider Marcus Rashford as a possibility and as the option.
So we need to talk now that we've got Alex Kirkland on as to what the latest is with Xabi Alonso and how he's actually going to line this team up. Any clues from yesterday's game?
I love the fact, by the way, that, as you say, it was a behind closed doors friendly, but that goal from Militao was so good that he made sure he got hold of the footage and posted it online on his social media, just to make sure that everybody knows just what a good goal it was. If you score a goal like that, you want people to see it, right? You don't want it to be behind closed doors. But yeah, this was the first friendly for Real Madrid. They've got this friendly that we're actually going to see in Austria next week, but this was the first game playing against Leganés. Xabi Alonso rotated the team entirely from one half to the other, played 2 different 11s in the first half and the second half. One or two interesting things. The team played a 4-3-3 in terms of the shape in both of these halves. It wasn't like one, the first half was sort of the first 11 and the second half was substitutes. It was a real mixture. Someone like Mbappe, for example, played the second half and not the first. In terms of the first half, the really interesting thing, and I should say, by the way, our colleague Roger was the one who got the info in terms of the 11s that Xabi Alonso picked, was playing David Alaba in midfield. Now, that's not something he's done at Real Madrid. He's always been a defender, really, for Madrid. It is a position he's played in the past quite frequently, both for his club at Bayern, for the Austrian national team as well. But Alaba playing in midfield is an interesting experiment and maybe speaks a bit to Xabi Alonso looking to solve some of the issues that Madrid have had in midfield over the last season. Of course, they opted not to bring in a new midfielder this summer. So that's one to watch. And the other big one at the moment is about Gonzalo Garcia, who started in the first half versus Endrick, who's currently injured, in terms of who's going to be the main sort of backup for Mbappe at centre forward. Of course, the club decided yesterday to give Endrick the number 9 shirt and not Gonzalo Garcia, as has been expected. He'll have the number 16, but right now it looks like Gonzalo is in the front seat, as I say, to be Mbappe's backup, especially because Endrick starts the season injured.
Interesting. Some decisions to be made, or maybe he already knows. He's just not letting on. Ale. Yeah, we'll find out.
I don't think there's any doubt that Xabi Alonso, based upon his observation of the players, should have Gonzalo Garcia ahead of Endrick. And I don't think that's even close, to be honest with you. If that's the race that we're talking about, if it's direct competition, Gonzalo Garcia to Endrick, based upon what he has seen from these players, well, he hasn't seen anything from Endrick. He has seen Gonzalo Garcia being a difference maker alongside Vini and alongside Kylian Mbappe, being able to play with both of them at separate times and in different moments in a game. It gives you an idea that if indeed you are about pressing the ball, you're about that initial line of confrontation, you have to have a player that is willing to do that. Gonzalo is willing to do that. Endrick is not. And Endrick has not been impressive enough at any point. He has had moments. A couple of good goals here and then you kind of go, and then we all calm down, relax, and he doesn't do enough consistently to sustain a level of play that warrants more playing time for him. I don't think it's happening anytime soon.
Yeah, we're going to find out in about 10 days when we see Real Madrid kick their season off against Osasuna. You'll be able to see that here on ESPN. And make sure to join the boys later on Extra Time. You can check it out over our YouTube channel. Alex will be joining Ale and Stevie to answer your questions. This is La Liga's Matchday 1 schedule. These are the games that are coming up. Ale and I are jetting off to Mallorca for the opener against Barcelona. Yep, because that's exactly what we're doing, Stevie.
Just rub it in.
That is exactly what we're doing. Real Madrid against
I hope we have a
Barcelona
better
this
experience than Craig had in his
and I hope we have
travels.
TV in our room,
Yeah.
and a socket. We'll see. And that will do it for the latest edition of ESPN FC, but these guys are sticking around, and Alex Kirkland will be back as well to answer your questions on the latest edition of Extra Time. So stay right where you are, got the questions, and that is coming up next. Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. We've got Ale and Stevie in the studio here with us, and Alex Kirkland joining us today too. But you, were you talking about me on the show yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll get
You'll
there.
find out.
Okay,
You'll get
all
it.
I do have a question. First of all, let me just say, statement. Disappointed that Alex Kirkland did not carry on with his stash. He had a stash going on for the summer.
It's gone.
Preseason stash.
And then
It's gone.
it's disappointing.
It was pre-season, I told you, Ali.
Yeah, I
We're
know.
getting
Well,
serious now.
you've let the team down.
What-
team was flying high. You've let the team
I
down.
think somebody close to home told him to get rid of
Yeah,
it.
yes, man, potentially. Potentially. somebody.
What's on your T-shirt, Alex?
Oh, it's a band. It's a band called the Hold Steady, but you can't really see it because it's there we go.
Oh, the whole steady.
That's what you should. That's what you should have done with the stash. Hold steady.
Okay, first question.
Que te quites el bigote, te dije ya. What?
Real Madrid clearly need further strengthening at the back. What's the chances of Florentino actually spending cash, or is he holding out for more freebies next year? Follow up, if he could get one centre-back or central midfielder, which do they go for? So let me start the first part of the question with you, Alex.
think, look, in terms of the back, I think midfield's the one, not defence. I think the defence now is okay. Midfield is the thing that worries me because I think arguably last season midfield was a bigger problem than defence, and they've chosen not to sign a midfielder. They think that with Tchouaméni and Camavinga and the Bios in there and whoever else, they think they can make it work. I'm not sure if that's the case. I think they're done in terms of spending. I think anyone else is coming in, as the question references, that they like waiting and bringing in top players on a free transfer rather than spending big in transfer fees. I don't think anyone else is coming in.
DB, RCM, Ali Moreno.
What's that?
Centre back or central midfielder? If you had the choice of one for Real Madrid.
No, I think they should go for a central midfielder. I mean, if Alex was talking about in the show that they're now trying Alaba in the midfield, that kind of gives you an idea that Xabi Alonso, with the squad that he has available and the players that he has available, he still doesn't have the answers that he wants. And the key to all of this for Real Madrid is in one player, Tchouaméni. I think Xabi Alonso coming into Real Madrid thought that Tchouaméni could absorb a lot of responsibility or most of the responsibility in being that guy in the midfield. And to the point to where, if you go back to the Club World Cup, when they were playing with a back three, it was Tchouaméni's responsibility to either step into the midfield or step in between the two center backs, and he had that freedom. But in order to have that freedom, you also have to have an ability to read and feel the game. Xabi Alonso could read and feel the game when he was a player. I'm not sure that I'm sure that that's not the strength of Tchouaméni's game. And I don't think he's capable of doing that with that sort of freedom or fluidity. So finding that player is going to be difficult. I don't think that player is currently in Real Madrid.
Alex, who starts at Old Trafford for you? First game of the season for Arsenal against Manchester United. Havertz or Gyökeres? Also, have you been practicing the Gyökeres celebration?
I don't get involved in the celebrations. Though, look, I would have said Havertz, but he's had a knock, and Gyökeres started in Arsenal's friendly today against Athletic Club. So it looks like it might be Gyökeres. I would have said it was too soon. I think Arteta, who tends to be a little bit conservative with these things, I think he would have gone for Havertz. But having seen what we've seen today, like I say, Havertz having had a slight issue coming off the bench, I think, in that friendly today, I think it might be Gyökeres.
You can't. How could you possibly go for Havertz? How could Arteta possibly go for Havertz? You've gone and got the guy you've needed for how long? No chance. If Havertz was 100% fit, you play Gyökeres. You can't bring this guy in and not play him. Arteta would be drawn and quartered. Of course Gyökeres is playing, 100%. And if he doesn't, I'll tell you what, Arteta's going to feel the heat.
Is Gyökeres, is that name going to give you trouble?
It sounds like it. I've got Gyökeres, Gyökeres.
We'll find out. Okay, Craig's inner piece is in again. I don't think it's that peaceful today.
Okay.
Start, bench, or drop and sell. These four managers, in terms of who everyone thinks will get the sack this season, start being who is least likely to get the sack. So Ruben Amorim, Xabi Alonso, Eric Ten Hag, or Igor Tudor at Juve.
Who's least likely to...
Yeah, so who's least likely is the person that you start?
Tudor is least likely, isn't he?
To get sacked?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Xabi Alonso is going anywhere this season.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that, but I think Tudor's... There's no possible chance.
Oh, man. Eric Ten Hag at Leverkusen is going to be something else.
Yeah. It is, isn't it? It's between Ten Hag and Amorim, isn't it?
You have to imagine that if you've gone all in with Ruben Amorim and you're making decisions based upon being all in with him.
If they're as bad come Christmas, he's got to go.
Yeah, well, I'm not arguing with you.
He was on about, all season he was on about not being able to train, not having time with his players. Well, he's got all the time in the world now with his players. So he can't pull that out.
Right.
So he's got nothing left in the bank.
Well, what he has, I don't know that he himself has it left in the bank, but what I think he can argue is that if they're mid-table, that's an incredible step forward from what they were last season. If they're somewhere hovering around Europe, that's an improvement from last season. I'm not making a case for Amorim. I'm just merely saying.
So if we just get rid of the sell and you can put Tudor and Xabi Alonso as your start, who are you going to bench and drop between Ten Hag and Amorim?
Ten Hag and then Amorim.
All right.
So who's more likely then?
Amorim.
Okay.
If United could only sign one player, Baleba or Donnarumma, who should it be? Both obviously linked with Manchester
Baleba.
United.
Baleba's a beast. He's still only a kid. He's still only 20. And the upside is huge. As I said, he's already a beast. So I think this is easy. Baleba.
With Atleti spending close to 200 million euros this summer, Ale, is there pressure on him to deliver some silverware this season?
Well, yes, because you can only play the card that you're the little engine that could for so long. Yeah, you can only.
Been out for a long time.
I know. But you can only sort of play that card of, oh, everything goes Barcelona's and Real Madrid's way, and everything. They get every break and they get every decision, and it's us against the world. But if you're spending this amount of money, which I don't blame Atletico Madrid for doing it. In fact, it's been time for Diego Simeone and Atletico Madrid to go and get what they think is theirs. And they were close last season. They were leading La Liga at one point. They had won a bunch of games in a row. It felt like momentum was with them, and then the games that matter, they were not able to pull it together. And dropped too many points to lower end opposition. You put that together, it ends up becoming a disappointing year for you. I don't think a disappointing year for Atletico Madrid should be accepted anymore. We can no longer hide under the very comfortable quilt, the cover that is Diego Simeone, and here we go, with a knife in between your teeth, and we're gonna fight against the world. Yeah, do all of that, but you have enough quality to where you should be winning the games that truly matter. And the games that truly matter are Real Madrid, Barcelona, when you're right smack in the middle of the mix.
What's the feeling in Madrid, Alex?
Yeah, I think given what they've done, they've got to improve on last season. What does that mean? It means being in the La Liga title race in May, not being out of it by March. It means going beyond the last 16 in the Champions League. It means winning the Copa del Rey. So rather than getting knocked out in the semi-finals, they have to be better than last year. It can't fizzle out the way it did last year.
Ale, who's the fastest football player of all time? I love that you're at AI now.
Right?
Is it me? I don't know if he's the fastest, and people may not be familiar, certainly in the international market, may not be familiar with this name, but there was a guy in Major League Soccer whose name is Marvell Wynn. This guy was a machine. But you remember
his feet.
And this guy, you could feel him coming from a distance, and he was built like a brick house. He was fast. I don't know if he's the fastest of all time, but man, he could move. He was an impressive physical specimen.
I'll tell you who it's not. My mate at Dortmund.
Niklas Sula.
Sula. I sat here a couple of years ago and Gab was trying to tell me that he's been clocked as the fastest defender or the fastest player in the Bundesliga. I'm like, what?
Well, the thing is that when he gets to top speed, it takes him a while to get to top speed.
Yeah, but once he's there, Stevie.
Oh, my goodness.
He builds momentum. It takes him a while to build momentum.
Are there any fast? It doesn't have to be the fastest player for you, Alex, but are there any that stood out to you that you've seen?
It's a very good question. I mean, you go right the way back. I was thinking about a young Michael Owen when he came through at Liverpool, was incredibly quick. Someone like Theo Walcott at Arsenal, very, very, very quick. Here in La Liga, I mean, right now, Mbappe is obviously very, very fast. You've got someone like Iñaki Williams, very, very quick at Athletic Club. Barca are speedy in numerous. I think Balde's very, very quick at Barca. I'm not sure who's clocked the fastest time in La Liga last season. I'd have to go and check.
I will throw a name that obviously people will know and may not think of him as the fastest per se in running from here to there. But with the ball at his feet, he seemed to be moving faster than he did otherwise, and that was Brazilian Ronaldo. To see it on TV is one thing. I got a real good look at him comfortably sitting on the bench for Venezuela. And this man, who is also built like a brick house, just running by people like they weren't even there. Now, and I've had the opportunity to do the same with Messi and Neymar. It wasn't nearly as impressive as seeing Ronaldo run with the ball. Maybe it's because of his size, and I don't know that people actually understand how big he was or how tall he was. And he was just running and people bouncing off of him, and you're thinking, we can't stop this guy. And mind you, if Venezuela fans are expecting that I'm gonna do that, it's not happening.
You know, defenders hate pace. We hate playing against anybody with genuine pace. But even more, you're more scared of a guy with pace and brains. Because there's been loads of guys who can run, but fortunately, most of them, the majority of them, don't have the brains to go along with it.
Well, part of it, Steve, is because they haven't had to use their brains to play the game.
Yep.
Because they're just running by people.
Right.
And so they haven't had the need
They haven't
to learn.
cultivated the brain.
Yes. they have no feeling for the nuances of the game.
Ronaldo never had that problem.
Oh no, I was very much in
I
touch.
had a problem, to be fair.
I was very much in touch with the nuances of the game, okay? I had to learn other ways.
I know. Oh, speaking of Venezuela,
Oh, here we go.
Ale and Alex, who's
Okay.
married to a Venezuelan.
Okay.
Start, bench or sell arepas,
Uh-huh.
ayacas,
Uh-huh.
or pabellon?
I'll have Alex go first. See where he is.
Yes, he is.
know this.
Now, this is one I have to think about very, very carefully. Because if I say the wrong thing and my wife happens to see this, I could be in serious trouble. So first, I should say all three are incredible contributions to, global gastronomy. Just
Happy wife,
fantastic.
happy
Just
life.
the best
Yeah.
of the very, very best. But I would say ayacas are a dish you have at Christmas, kind of like a tamal. Not a massive fan of ayacas at Christmas. I don't know about you, Ali.
Wait, hold on. You said that all three were massive contributors.
No, he's just not a massive fan of them at Christmas.
I thought
No,
I thought
because
they were players. I was like, what's he talking about? I thought they were players.
they're very, very fast. Very fast.
I have no idea.
Very fast. Very smart player.
I'm assuming it's food.
Yes.
Right. I thought they were players. Oops.
I'm not a fan of that at
They're
Christmas.
outstanding players, and he only plays at Christmas.
Only play-
Yes.
Oh,
Some
man.
contract he's got.
Right, they're not playing.
Well, so,
Love to
see,
bring you
but
something.
ayacas are only served in Christmas.
What is it?
Well, Alex just described it kind of like a tamal. Has a different feeling than
Right.
tamal, but it's in the family of that. But it's only served as Christmas and doesn't play on Christmas, apparently. Or only plays on Christmas. I would say, well, no, you do the ranking, Alex, and then
Go
I'll...
on, Alex.
I'd say pabellon number 1, arepas number 2, ayacas number 3 for me.
Okay. So, ayacas, I agree, we're going to drop or sell.
What is it?
I just told you it's a
No, he
tamal.
said it. Hayacas is a tamale.
Yeah.
So what is an arepas?
An arepa.
Arepas.
Arepa.
It's cornmeal dough, and it's like a fat pita pocket,
Yes.
kind of. And then you put fillings in it. You can do minced meat inside of it. You can do a ham and cheese. You can do whatever you want.
So that's definitely better than the
Okay, so
halacas.
ayacas. I would say ayacas. It's only plays in Christmas. What a player that is. So I'm gonna sell ayacas, and now it becomes pabellon arepas. Arepas I usually would have every day and with every meal, but arepas are also part of pabellon. And so you take the pabellon first, arepas second, ayacas third.
So what's a pabellon?
Pabellon is shredded beef, black beans, sweet plantains, arepas. that's a Venezuelan dish, sort of the main dish.
It's like a strike partnership.
You learn something every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Oh,
And
wow.
arepas plays through Christmas and onto the new year as well.
reliable.
Yeah.
Yes,
Very
yeah.
reliable.
Right, now we
Arepas
get
is an everyday player.
Yeah.
Pabellon, it's a difference maker.
A luxury player.
Yeah,
Right.
no, but has talent, a lot of
Ayacas
talent.
just turns
And
up,
Ayacas
yeah,
just
yeah.
shows up in Christmas.
Ah,
All right. Good stuff, guys. Okay, if Stevie had to choose either sausage or bacon for breakfast, these are both foods, by the way, which would it be?
Sausage. A good link sausage.
Okay.
Yeah. Proper bacon's pretty close. But no, it would be the sausage. Big
Okay.
time. Yep.
Okay. This is how I know you guys were talking about me on yesterday's Extra Time, which I haven't seen yet.
Okay, all right.
Andrea
Thanks
says-
for supporting the show.
For Kay, start, bench, or drop these Black Eyed Peas songs, my humps. Where is the love? Or I got a feeling. I believe Two Little Birds, Stevie and Ale, said yesterday something about the group in regards to you.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Well, it wasn't. We didn't really talk about the group. We mentioned the song that a certain person at this table, the only song that wasn't allowed to be played at their wedding was that song.
Yep.
Why?
I just don't like that song. It's annoying and it sounds like, do you remember when you used to make songs up on your keyboard at home to like give your family a concert with your like sister and your cousins? It just sounds like that to me.
I don't remember that.
No, I don't remember that either, no.
I don't remember doing that at all.
You would mean to do that.
No, I like to do that. I like to
You like
entertain
to do
it. But it just, I just don't think it's a good song and it's very annoying and I did not want that on one of the most important days of my life.
Or the most
Well,
important.
the most
day.
important.
Well, I had 2 babies after that. So.
Well, but things would not have
Yeah.
happened had.
Yeah.
So-
So, however, I did go and see the Black Eyed Peas in London and they were fabulous.
Oh,
And
did you go to the
so-
toilet when they were singing that song?
They hadn't sang that song by then. So I will go with Where is the Love, followed by My Humps, and I will absolutely drop, as I did on my wedding day,
Yeah.
I Got a Feeling.
You're consistent.
Yeah.
So
okay.
you didn't have a feeling that that night was going to be a good night?
Oh, well, it was a great night. I mean, it did rain all day. It was a great night, though. Earth, Wind and Fire, however, must play. There was a must playlist. That was
Okay.
wrong. The not playlist was just one, and it was that song. So there we go. Okay?
Oh, we know.
Thank you so much for sending in your questions, everybody. And yes, thanks for the Venezuelan food questions, because that gave us quite a chuckle today. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again.